Let me ask you a question that might feel uncomfortably accurate. Have you ever had a perfect normal day and still felt pressure in your body as if something is wrong? The day looks perfect, it is normal, but some pressure is there in the body. Not because the work is impossible, not because something has actually gone wrong, but because your mind just won't slow down. If that resonates, this video is for you. Most professionals believe pressure comes from deadlines, bosses, targets, uncertainty, and expectations. That seems obvious, but here is something far more interesting and far more important. A large part of the pressure we experience is not created by what happens around us, it is created by how we meet what happens inside our own mind. This single distinction changes everything. The difference between being busy and being burdened, between effort and exhaustion, between responsibility and strain. My name is Sri Mulugund. I am author of a book called Clarity Under Pressure: How to Think Less, See More, and Work with Ease. This is not a motivational book. It is not about pushing harder, thinking more, or becoming superhuman. It is about a quieter shift, a shift that helps you stay grounded, clear, and effective even when life and work moves fast. In next few minutes, I want you to walk you through the core insights behind this book. If you recognize yourself in these ideas, you will know exactly why this book matters. We are living in what I call the age of pressure. The day begins. The day begins before the day begins. That's what I would like to put it. A phone call lights up early in the morning. The message arrives with no greeting or no context, just urgency. And suddenly your nervous system is already active. Pressure today rarely arrives as one big crisis. It arrives as an atmosphere, back to back meetings, constant digital noise, shallow attention, little time to truly settle. Somewhere underneath, a quiet question that keeps looping: what if I fall behind? This is not weakness. This is not incompetence. This is modern professional environment. Now, here is where many intelligent and committed people get trapped. That is overthinking. Overthinking looks responsible. It sounds thoughtful. It feels like preparation, but overthinking is often a fear disguised as a concern. It does not protect you, it drains you, in fact. The hidden cost is significant. Your attention fragments, your energy leaks, decisions feel heavier than they need to. You are physically present in conversations, but mentally elsewhere, and slowly thinking stops serving performance and start consuming it. Here is a line worth remembering: better outcomes don't come from more thinking, they come from clearer thinking. Let me give you a familiar example. You receive a short message: can we connect today? I would like to discuss few things. No facts, no tone, no threat. Nothing has actually happened, yet the mind immediately starts filling the gap. What does this mean? Is something wrong? Is it about my performance? For the next few hours, the body carries stress, even though no event has occurred. That is where a crucial insight becomes visible. Stress is often not created by situation. Stress is created by our own story, the story we make out of nothing. The situation is neutral. The interpretation activates the body. One simple practice can interrupt this spiral. Separate facts from stories. This might be a message arrived questioning a conversation or requesting a conversation. The story might be I'm in trouble, I don't need positive thinking, right? And what you need is accuracy. The moment the fact and story get separated, the nervous system has a space to settle down and clarity naturally begins to return, because once you get that clarity you don't start making stories. At the heart of this book there is one powerful idea, that is the gap, a small but a distinctive movement between what happens and what you do next, right? And most people are not aware of this gap. They react, they quickly reply, they defend, they explain, they push through. Reaction feels efficient, but it is often automatic. Response is different, and response is chosen. That is what we are talking about. When you learn to notice the gap, even briefly, you stop being controlled by the momentum. You remain calm without being passive. You help yourself. You stay sharp without becoming tense. You don't lose speed. In fact, you gain precision. A simple way to access this is what I call the 60-second arrival. Before a meeting, before responding to a different or a difficult message, before entering a conversation that triggers you, pause for a minute, soften the shoulders, relax your feet on the floor, notice your natural breath, relax your body, then ask a single quiet question: what is the next true step? Not what is the next anxious step. That question changes tone, clarity, and outcome more than most people realize. Now, when people hear a phrase like think less, fear often arises. If I think less, will I miss something important? If I slow down mentally, will I become careless? This book never asks you to stop thinking. It asks you to stop carrying thoughts that do not help you to take better next step. Here is a simple filter. Does this thought help me act more clearly now? If yes, use it. If not, let it pause. Mental space produces clarity. Mental noise does not. Another very deeply misunderstood idea is ease. Many professionals secretly believe that if working feels easy, something must be wrong. Ease is taken for laziness. In reality, ease is the absence of inner resistance. When you work long hours and still feel settled, and you can work very little and feel exhausted, right? It can happen both ways. But exhaustion is often not caused by workload, it is often caused by friction inside. When resistance stops, effort becomes clean and performance becomes sustainable. Modern workplaces add another layer, uncertainty, right? And roles evolve, technology changes, strategies shift, descriptions blur. And with this AI coming up now, people are confused, right? And beneath all of this lies a deeper fear. What happens to me? What happens to my role, right? Here's the liberating truth. You play roles, you are not the role. When identity fuses completely with position, every change feels personal. When that fusion loosens, steadiness returns. You adapt intelligently instead of anxiously. You remain effective without constantly proving your worth. And that is what I call the calm advantage. Not staying relaxed all the time, but staying grounded when it matters most. In difficult conversation under pressure, inside uncertainty, less inner noise creates more outer effectiveness. You think more efficiently, you communicate more clearly, you recover faster, and most importantly, you remain yourself even when pressure arises. Most professionals leave their entire careers believing pressure is normal. That is what they say, right? See, I'm a professional, so pressure is always normal. Overthinking is normal. Stress is normal. Reactivity is normal. Getting angry is normal. And they call it ambition. A smaller group learns something different. They learn how to meet pressure without losing themselves. And once you experience that clarity, it becomes very difficult to go back. If this video reflected your inner experience even slightly, the book Clarity Under Pressure: How to Think Less, See More, and Work with Ease was written for you. The Amazon link is available in the description. If you choose to read it, read this book, read it slowly, not to fix yourself, not to push harder, but to notice clearly, because clarity doesn't come from trying more, it comes from seeing better. Thank you for watching.